Welcome back to RockMine, and here we go again. We're hitting the skies and heading south from Chicago to a good old city called New Orleans. And we've been here before. Last year, one of the first episodes of RockMine, we were cruising down Bourbon Street and hanging out in the Big Easy. So we're back again, checking into our hotel, and Detroit Bob is going to hit the streets tomorrow morning looking for vinyl. It's always great to be down in New Orleans, and here we are out near the old trail line, tram line, train line, streetcar line, and it's still working. This thing is rickety and makes a lot of noise, but I'll tell you what, it'll get you down to the French Quarter, and that's where we're headed. Things like this are a true American treasure, and you gotta jump on the streetcar line, and it gets you right here into the old French Quarter. This is rocking. You got the Hotel Monteleone. You've got the sights, the sounds, the blues, the Cajun, the Creole, the dirt, the grime, the grit. But most of all, you got good old New Orleans street music. And this is a place to party. You can eat it up, you can drink it up, and you can listen to the sounds of the streets pouring out of every crack and crevice of this town. And I'll tell you what, you never get sick of it. This personality of this street changes every 15 minutes. It can go from almost dangerous to boring, and everybody's hungover and sleeping it off within 12 hours. But that's the good thing. I don't even think you need to come for Mardi Gras. As a matter of fact, I'd say avoid it. But every time I go to the French Quarter, I'm looking for one place, and it's down at the very end called Fritzell's Tap. So if you want to get away from the madness, just keep going, and you're going to find it. It's an old-fashioned European jazz bar that I went to first in 1989, so probably 35 years ago. And as you make your way down the street, it'll get less and less neon, and you'll find this little old black and white Fritzell's European Jazz Pub. And that's where you go in and get as close to the stage as you can. These are world-class musicians. These guys are strumming, they're honking, they're tapping, and they're playing stand-up bass like it's out of sight. And you literally, if you're there, you'll get hit in the head by the trombonist, because that's how close to the singing and the action you are. Get up front, because that's where it's happening. The barmaids will come over, they'll fill you up with your drink, and you could easily spend 3 sets here and just watch these guys. Just the mechanics of what they do. The hands, you don't even have to like jazz music to just watch these guys do their craft. And it's all about nuance and touch. There's not an amplifier to be seen, and if it is, it's hidden pretty well. But these guys are intimate, they know their songs, they know their craft. It's a small little pub-style place that you can really get gritty and get down and hear the music. And by the way, the music's hang out in the back alley. As you go towards the restrooms out back, there's just people milling about underneath the lights, and guys that are in between sets just chatting it up. Next up, Frenchman Street. Follow along. One here last time.
That's a little bit of everything right now.
Ah, yes, the spotted cat. But now it's time to get on the road and find some vinyl. So I'm up early, I got my trusty backpack, and I'm off to a little record store called Nola Mix. And do I need to take the train car? Not today. I tell you what, we're in the district, also known as the Garden District. That's a damn good iced coffee. Typical of New Orleans, you got these second floor balconies. In the old days, I guess you got out of the heat by hanging out there. And everything's decorated, a lot of greenery, planting. This is considered cool weather, 70 degrees. All right, running through the district, the Garden District, is Magazine Street. And that's what I'm going up and down now. We're going to a place called Nola Records. Ah, here it is, right up the way. Vinyl, here we come. All right, this is Detroit Bob. We're gonna check out this place called Nola Records here on Magazine Street in New Orleans. We're gonna check it out and see what kind of vinyl they got. And I'm excited about this stop. How's it going, man? I'm a collector. I collect mostly 45s. You guys have some here? All right, cool.
More rare side of things back here.
Awesome. I do a YouTube page. You mind if I run a little video? I'll feature you, give you some free advertising. Cool. All right, so let me go through the commons. What are they, all alphabetical?
So on the far end, it's going to be like strictly Louisiana artists.
Okay.
Like Zydeco, funk, soul, and then it goes alphabetical.
Oh, sweet.
Funk, soul, and then everything else is going to be here. So Latin, country, rock, punk, anything else is going to be towards this end.
Do you guys sell a lot of 45s?
We do, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, and now this is the more rare stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be mostly local and a little bit more on the rare side.
Okay, cool. But you do have a soul section?
Yeah, so all the alphabetical stuff will be considered soul.
Okay, show me the way.
So soul is going to be C,
All right.
and then it's going to be all the way here.
Oh, wow.
And then this is the New Orleans soul, Cajun rock, Zydeco, jazz, and then everything else soul.
So you guys are the real deal. I love it. What's the mystery bag?
45, 45s for $15.
Okay, so you just don't know
As
what
random as it gets.
condition, everything.
They're in good condition. They're all
Okay.
playable records and
Right.
everything.
Okay.
But yeah, as random as we can make it.
$15 for a mystery bag.
45 records, yeah. And
Okay.
then we do a 10 for 10 on the 12-inch records as well.
Okay.
That's
I'm definitely gonna get a mystery bag.
Sure, yeah.
How big is it? Oh yeah. Okay, I'll get that on the the way out. So.
Set it to the side
Okay,
for you.
cool. That would be great. The mystery bag. All right, cool. They got everything organized, as you can see. Everything's clean and neat. And I can already tell these guys know what they're talking about just by the way he was answering my questions. You know you're in a music town when they have a local bin for 45s of artists just from their own town. So New Orleans, I'm thinking Fats Domino, I'm thinking the Neville Brothers, but there's dozens of other local artists that aren't your run-of-the-mill guys, but are great Southern blues, R&B, you know the mix, Cajun, Zydeco, everything. New Orleans is a melting pot. All the different cultures came here, from the French to the English to the African Americans to the Latins. Everybody seemed to end up in New Orleans. Neville, man. Doesn't get more New Orleans than that. Most people know Aaron Neville by his soul classic, Tell It Like It Is. He had a later hit with Linda Ronstadt in the late 80s, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was called. I Know I Love You, something like that. But either way, I'm going to flip through these pretty quick because I'm going to, at the end of this episode, go through all my finds. As I pull them out, I'm putting them in a stack. I have a system. Right away, I realized there's no way I'm going to get through all these 45s in one day. So I will be happy if I get through half of the rack. At some point, you just get mental fatigue. About an hour in, your neck starts to ache. Your brain starts to get a little foggy, and you're just wondering how much of a price tag you're racking up. These are not priced to fly off the shelves. They might even be a little bit more premium priced, but I'm hoping that I get one or two breakthrough gems that are just underpriced, so that at the end of the day, I walk out of there sort of breaking even. Spend some money. These guys work really, really hard. And there's another Neville brother like right there. So I'm setting that one aside because it's in better shape than the first one that I saw. But spend some money. These record store owners, to procure all these labels and to procure all these records, this is really cool too, this VJ. So you're probably going to hear more of that. Spoiler alert. But these local DJs that have gone into the record business, or just these local guys that have never really gone out of business, if they're going to stick around, it's going to be guys like you and me that love 45s. And here's the old VJ label. I'm throwing those off to the side. But these guys need business. Everybody, this is an old VJ label right there. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, these aren't in the greatest condition, but I've got my sweet spot in VJ, in a VJ promo, Checker, Aaron Neville. My stack is starting to look pretty nice. And what does that tell you? You're getting good stuff. This isn't Donnie and Marie. It's not, Captain and Tennille. This is the root of American rhythm and blues music, the home place of jazz. And jazz arguably gave birth to blues and rock and roll, basically starting out in the Storyville district of New Orleans. Do your homework on that. Rent the Ken Burns Jazz PBS documentary. It'll take you back to the beginnings. I've actually taken jazz tours with my buddy Rob down here, where they get into the nitty-gritty in the neighborhoods. So you can study jazz, you can listen to it. A lot of people think of modern jazz, but if you want to get to the roots of American jazz music, you got to start in New Orleans. Fritzell's, Spotted Cat, and even the Mahogany is the newer sort of cool late-night traditional jazz bar. I would start with those three and then work up from there. If you dig the sound, start picking up some vinyl. And you might have to get into a little Fats Domino to get you back there, because it starts to get really, really, really deep, but really cool at the same time. I'm still really looking at Stax, Checker, Chess, VJ, Motown, and I'm sort of in that R&B groove right now. And what I'm finding is a lot of it in these racks. So there we go. Did I mention Northern Soul? Yeah, there's a subgroup of soul R&B which the Brits call Northern Soul, which is interesting because they have their own little dance club casino scene up there in northern England, which has been going on since the 60s, where American R&B songs were dragged in and played by DJs. I got a whole list here where I've taken the Northern Soul 500 and highlighted all the ones that are Motown, Chess, Checker, Rictic. In other words, ones that I think I'm more likely to run across. But I'm moving on into Stax, into Volt, into OK, into High. So I'm being led from Detroit through Gary, Indiana, to Chicago, down through Memphis, and I'm ending up in New Orleans. And I'm liking the trip. I'm learning a lot, and I'm picking up what would be commonly passed over R&B songs that are Northern soul songs. Why? Because I think it's fun and cool. Two, the value's through the roof on these things. Some of these records are worth $200 or $300, and some of them upwards of $2,000 or $3,000, just because they're that sought after by the Northern soul fanatics over in the UK. I've gone ahead and pulled the Spotify playlist, and this is all good stuff. Some of it you'll know, but for the most part, these are more obscure songs that actually became hits over there, or they maybe floundered over here. The biggest one off the top of my head I can think of is Tainted Love by, I believe, Gloria Jones. But we know the version that was popular in the 80s, that Soft Cell, was that their name? They had a big sort of a club hit circa 1982 with Tainted Love. And it sounded familiar, but I didn't know it was a remake. That's a Northern soul song. So I'm working my list. I'm getting lost in time. I'm making my way through the A's and the B's, and there's no way I'm getting to Z on this trip. But I am having an absolute blast. So there's some very loud Led Zeppelin music playing in the background, and now it's morphed into some, I don't know, some Afrocentric jazz fusion something. You never know what you're going to get in these record stores. And that's why I love it. This is not corporate America. This is everyday Joe DJ reclaiming his turf. And people are loving it. The authenticity of it. The history of it. The groove and the vibe that just comes out in these record stores is absolutely fantastic. I've got to get this list organized better. I know it looks like a mess. It's all ripped up and torn up, but it goes with me everywhere. And one of these days I'm going to get fancy and put it into a Excel spreadsheet. But you know what? I learn a lot just by fumbling around and hit or miss. And if you make a mistake, don't worry. And, you know, those are some of the tips I tell people. Go out and set yourself a budget and say, I am going to spend $100. And then when you get home and enter everything into Discogs, add up the median value. And if you beat $100, you won, okay? If you lost, you look at the ones that you lost on and say, okay, why did I get burned on this record? You bought something that looked pretty, and it was really a very, very common record. So you might think, oh, wow, Michael Jackson Thriller. It's so common, and they probably printed so many millions of them, that it's not really that valuable or collectible even though you might like it. Pick it up anyways, and just don't pay $10 for it. You follow me? Run into some checker, some chess, some cadet, and you got to know your labels, know your sub-labels. And I've told you guys this a million times. Just because it was popular doesn't always make it collectible. Okay, pick it up if you need to have it in your collection. If you got a connection to it, that's one of the 5 C's, if you have a connection to it. But don't break the bank just because it was popular. So that's my suggestion there. I'm going to wade through a few more letters, and we're going to move on because we're going to sum all these up at the end. The name of the show is RockMine. This is Detroit Bob. I'm working my Northern Soul list at a place called Nola Mix down in New Orleans. I'm having a great time, and, you know, time is just running away from me. How long have I been here at this point? I don't know, but it seems like I've only been here 10 minutes, but probably been here an hour. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, so I'm scanning this list looking for oddball records that I'm coming across. And there's got to be a better way to do it, but it's just the old-fashioned way. When you have a passion for records and for the hunt or the thrill of the hunt, you're willing to zip through these lists and just sort of take the time to do what it takes. But this is our second trip back to New Orleans with our good buddies, Rob and Glow. And we got history down here. I remember in 1989 seeing a blind blues guitarist named Brian Lee. And he used to play on Bourbon Street at the old Absinthe House. And that's when I first wandered down to Fritzell's Tap. And there was a guy from England named Chris Burke who played clarinet. And I tell you what, those were some of the coolest, most authentic gigs that I had ever seen. This is a kid from Detroit who's coming from the actual stadium phase of rock and roll, who gets transported back in time where you're sitting at a pub, at a bar stool, or on a wooden bench listening to music that's been played for over 150 years, if not longer. So it was really a musical education coming to and living in New Orleans 35 years ago, and it stuck with me. I remember buying my first Little Richard album in New Orleans at a record store, and I played the hell out of that album. So I got some roots here, but really, rock and roll in American music has a lot of roots here. And if you haven't checked out the New Orleans scene, you got to get down here. If not, just for the vinyl. And this is about the third shop I've been into, but this is not in the French Quarter. It's not over on Frenchman Street. This is on Magazine Street in the Garden District. So it's a little bit more gritty, dirty, I would say authentic, sort of a pop-up. And everybody's telling me, go to Peaches, go to Peaches. I know Peaches is the biggest and the baddest, but I like these more obscure little stores, and I like to patronize them. Now remember, I've got that mystery bag up at the front desk, so I know I'm coming home with 45 45s. If I get 2 or 3 out of that, I'm happy. But I'm trying to get out of here with some Northern soul. If not, just round out some of my Chesser. Check. Woo! It's been a long day. As I was saying, I'm going to wrap it up here in a minute and get up to the front desk and check out. Because I know they got some kind of thing going on tomorrow, and I think I'm coming back, and I'm going to bring Rob and Glow and Dan down here so they can check this place out just for the vibe. So I'm finishing up. I'm not going to get all the way to Z, but I'm okay with that. So here we go. Do the deal. I'm going to stop back tomorrow. It's their 9th anniversary, so I definitely want to get some of these souvenirs. Nola Mix Records right here on Magazine Street. You gotta love it. All right, I just got back from Nola Mix, and I'll tell you what, they have some great soul or what, but they also had something called a mystery pack, 45 45s for 15 bucks. So here we go. I got lots to go through, and they invited us back tomorrow for their special 9-year anniversary. We got DJs, we got free food, we got giveaways, we got raffles. So I've roped the rest of the gang. We're going back tomorrow. Cheers. But first we're heading into the heart of the Magazine Street / Garden District by streetcar to do a little pre-gaming. And we're going to a concert venue that everybody knows called Tipitina's. So we're taking the streetcar all the way down to the Carrollton area first for a little pre-gaming, and then we're going to head back to that Superior place for oysters, charred oysters. Yes, they are incredible. So Cooter Brown's is a little dive that some dude on the streetcar told us about, and we're definitely having fun.
We're at Tipitina's. We're going in to see this New Orleans funk band. So God only knows how cool this is going to be, but I got a good feeling.
All right, we're in. Tipitina's is known for having cool national acts and local acts, and the vibe is incredible. The second balcony is where the VIP area is. So as I'm speaking, Rob and Danielle are working their magic trying to get past the door guy. Eureka, we're in the VIP section waiting for the show to begin. The house lights are dim. The band is on the stage. The California Honey Drops. I have no idea, but I'm seeing a lot of brass and a lot of New Orleans setting up on that stage right there. I'm loving the keyboard guy's fro. We're on the railing, 15 feet above the head of the band. Already I can tell they got some chops and I'm loving it. What a great band. What a great night. The California Honey Drops at Tipitina's. Now we got up for a great brunch and heading to a rooftop bar on top of the Pontchartrain Hotel. This is the great city of New Orleans. I've talked these guys into going back to Nola Mix for some more vinyl and vibes, but we thought we'd stop here just to get an overview of the city.
You come up here, you have some nice drinks.
All right, we're back again for the 9th anniversary celebration of Nola Mix Records. So we were here yesterday, if you remember. We got some great soul vinyl. We're back. Detroit Bob, back in the house. Oh yeah, beignets. Well, beets and beignets, I like that. Free beer? Okay, well that's what I'm here for.
Excuse me, sir.
There we go. How's it going, man? Are you the owner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Detroit Bob. I was in here yesterday. I'm a collector. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I got a YouTube page called RockMine. I got about 250,000 views.
Rock what?
RockMine, RockMine.
Okay.
So look it up, all one word, Google.
Like gold mine?
Sort of, yeah. But you know, I'm mining for records.
Right.
Every once in a while, I'll find a gem, right? So every week, I go to a different record store. Your buddy said, come back tomorrow, because that's when we're doing the, what is it, the 9th year?
It's our 9th year anniversary, yeah?
Yeah. How'd you get started in all this?
Oh, am I getting filmed right now?
Yeah, you don't mind, do you?
No.
I would like to drop you into an episode.
Sure
Take
thing.
care of your customers
Let
first.
me ring them up real quick.
Where's the free beer?
Huh?
Where's the free beer? Yeah, how did you get started, man?
Well, I've been collecting records, well, since I was younger, but really seriously in the 90s.
Okay.
So vinyl has been sort of a thread for me, ebbing and flowing throughout the years with digital DJing, Congress Wave.
So you're a DJ?
DJ, yeah, I started off DJ, producer,
All right.
but then when I moved to New Orleans,
You got an XLR?
yes, give me 1 second.
I thought that was you. I was like, okay, come on.
So are you the official ambassador?
Something like that. Yesterday.
Detroit Bob, how you doing, man?
Detroit Bob Tamari T.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right. I like this place. I was here yesterday. I bought about $150 worth of soul records.
Yeah.
That's my specialty is 45s.
Feel that. How many records do you listen to?
I go to one every week, all over the world.
Okay.
So I've been to California, France, New Orleans was my second time down here,
Yeah.
Detroit, Chicago.
This is one of my favorite record stores in Peaches. You've been to Peaches before?
Yeah, that's on my list.
I'm going there after I leave here. After I see a performance, I'm going over there.
Okay.
It's right down the
Okay. I'll check
They
it
got a
out.
performance going on today too.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, so you're in the band?
I have my own band. I have
Okay.
my own I'm just checking out this singer. I just met her, so
Oh, that's
I
cool.
thought I'd check that. I got I know you familiar with Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah.
That's my vibe.
Yeah.
RXT and Electric Company. we do something I call exotic funk.
Okay.
Like more.
George Clinton, I'm Detroit Bob, and he's got a Detroit connection.
Yeah.
Started up there, yeah.
Yeah,
Sort
I
of.
opened up for him out here this year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's still out there doing it, isn't he?
Yeah.
How is he?
Man, he cool. He chilling out. I know he's a little older, but
Yeah, no. I'm young at heart. That's
that's what it is. He still get on that stage and put that energy out there.
All right. So what's your name? I have a week.
Okay. Are we recording right now?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw you in an episode, and I got 250,000 views on YouTube. It's called RockMine, and I go into a record store every week. I talk to the people. I talk to the owner. I've been interviewing him, and then I buy some 45s. This is gold right here.
This DJ right here.
Yeah.
45. I don't know the.
Because you're actually spinning 45s, you're using them, and you're loving them. You know, that's what I love to see. And everybody says it's a dead format. That's my specialty. It's the 45. So you got some old school Motown there. That's a Tamla label. So that's Curtis Mayfield's label. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm on Crown Point, Indiana. It's not too far away. Yeah. So he's having a big comeback. People your age are starting to listen to him and like, wow, how did we miss this? You know, that old super fly. Oh, that's in the morning. I'm thinking about getting a setup, man. You know what I mean? Doing a little DJing for like old guy parties. But, my era, slinging Motown and funk and soul and that. Well, I know that. I'm like, I hate that. Well, I want to retell the story. And I went back to the Motown Museum where it all started, and I'm like, you know what? A lot of these artists, they never got the credit.
One man in particular really played an Ohio player in Parliament.
Yeah.
He wrote hits for
Okay, yeah. Fire. That is the great. And dude, I grew up in the 70s, and Fire was on the radio every 5 seconds. And we were like, oh man, we're going to go over to this other station, so this and that. Brothers Johnson, they were good too. And nobody knows about it. That's the only one they know. That's the crime, man. So what's the name of your band?
So the name of my band is Tamari T and Electric.
Okay.
We do something called exotic funk.
Okay.
Definitely the Spawn, the Prince, Ray James, Parliament, Funkadelic, James Brown, of course. I would say David Bowie.
Yeah.
Coochie, a lot of different artists.
Okay.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I started listening to a lot of the old soul. Smokey Robinson's got a Soul Town, he calls it.
Yeah.
And I took my wife to see Smokey Robinson. She was blown away.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it. 83, man. He's 83.
That's real magic.
Okay, it is real magic. So, no, you going to play today, or?
I'm just watching.
Just
I'm
watching,
right
okay.
Now we got Rocky Rain going up.
This place is awesome. It's got a jukebox. Check this out.
Hello. Oh, that's kind of loud though.
Howdy. Hello.
Are you hear guitar well? Yeah. You hear me well? Cool. I want to hear you well. How you doing?
All right.
Cool. Do some covers and some originals at the end. So stick around. La 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 la.
Our trip to New Orleans was coming to a close. What a great time meeting Tamari T and their beautiful singer, and just getting back one more time to Mahogany was key. And there it was, that last night. It was a great time. We were in the French Quarter or just off the main drag of Bourbon Street, hearing one last late night jazz session and closing it out once again at the Rooftop Bar. The top of the Pontchartrain, we met some young people. They were pumped up about the future, and we will be back to New Orleans.
Back from New Orleans. So let's see what we got in the bag of tricks. Great trip, great party. Always fun time down there. I made it through letter H in the soul section, so it should be some good stuff. So let's see what we got in our bag of tricks. I got another bag called Mystery Bag. So he threw that in. So spent a lot of time. These were well priced, and I hopefully got out of there with a bargain or two. So let's see what we got. Okay, while I was off camera, I put my harness back on, and that's great because now I got both hands free. And you know, looking through records, you need your hands, right? So here's one bag, and let's get that out and on top. And here's the other bag right here. And records are heavy, but you know, part of the good thing about specializing in 45s, you can manage the load. Now, some of these are really, really beat up. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. So I didn't get any bargains on condition, but these are what I call placeholders. So I got some VJ stuff because, you know, I'm a big VJ guy. So I ran into this Gene Allison early VJ 286. Same thing on 317, 273. And I would normally not pay $5 for these. I'd pay like $2 or $3 for them. But I'm in New Orleans, and who knows? I might have an odd record, and who knows? So I don't think he looked each one of these up. So right there, I got a bunch of VJ. So okay, let's zoom in so you can see the labels a little bit better. That's the old VJ label, long before the Beatles recorded or were released on VJ. They may have still been in Gary, Indiana at this time, which is sort of cool because that's sort of my home base for the region. That's where the Jacksons came from. That's where the Kinseys came from. And we'll talk more about them later. Now we get into Checker, Steve Alamo on Checker. Don't know anything about this, but I am going to find out about it. It's pretty beat up. This one really caught my eye. And I probably overpaid for it. I think it's probably worth $8 or $9. But I was in the mood of spending money. It's in great shape. Jerry Butler with the impressions, of course. But here's a nice condition. It's probably the best condition promo I've ever seen on a VJ. So I almost give it a very good plus. I would give it a very good plus for that age record. You just don't see them this long after the Beatles have come and gone. But look at that. That's something really, really good shape. I'm looking for some reason, Lloyd Price. I thought he was from New Orleans. And correct me if I'm wrong. Was he Lottie Miss Claudie? If he was, I'm going to pick up everything he does. You go to New Orleans, you got to pick up Aaron Neville, all right? The Neville brothers, Aaron Neville, they're locals. And this is an odd label, at least to me. Instant. I don't have a lot on this. It needs a good cleaning. Looks like it just sat exposed to the air for a long time, and it's faded. So, but it's in pretty good shape. So I don't mind paying $5 for that. William Bell, I just sold the William Bell record for over $20. So I'm sort of new to his whole scene and his whole sound. So I'm like, I'm going to pick up another William Bell to replace the one I sold. Buster Brown. Seems to me I just got one of these. Might have been in Saginaw, but that fire label caught my eye. And I remember entering him into Discogs and learning a little bit. Once again, I'm a big Jerry Butler fan. I like his voice. I think he's sort of like the sort of grittier, bluesier impression. And he shows up in a lot of VJ stuff. So this one's in great shape too. So maybe I was tapping into a Jerry Butler collection. I've been concentrating on Chess, Checker, and all the Motown labels. So Solomon Burke, he He recorded, I believe, also for VJ, or was released on VJ. And his big hit is, and I'm going to forget it, but I'll think of it. Everlasting Love is a great song. A lot of people have done it. So I picked that up. William Bell, once again, but now on Stax. So I'm like, oh, that thing just needs a really, really good cleaning. It's probably a very good once you get all that dirt off of it. Like I said, probably overpaid on a lot of these, but so what? You know, once in a while, you got to help these shop owners. GC Cameron on Motown. Great shape. Great looking record right there. Motown, a promo. So there you go. Once again, GC Cameron. This is 75 when some of the shine is starting to wear off Motown a little bit. They're out in LA. You got this ugly promo label compared to this beautiful map of my hometown. You know what I mean? So it's like, who's in the art department now? Who dropped the ball? Chubby Checker. I'm always looking for his Northern Soul releases. I don't think this is one, but I picked it up. Another Northern Soul, not a Northern Soul, but a soul record on Motown. And that's a promo. It's a white label promo. Terrence Trent D'Arby. Probably one of the best soul artists of the 80s, in my opinion. And you know I had this record, 1987. And Sign Your Name Across My Heart. And it's a nice picture sleeve, and I think this artwork is very similar. That was the album. I had it. Had that when I was out in Davenport, living out on the Mississippi River, Highway 61. But I've never seen the picture sleeve, so that's very collectible for me, at least. I got a connection to that record. The Dazz Band. I think they did Early in the Morning. Or am I thinking the Gap Band? They had a big hit. So that was a nice one I picked up. The Dells on Cadet. Now, Cadet, I think, is Cadet a subsidiary of Chess? Boy, because it looks like the Solomon Burke one from earlier. No, look at that. Yeah, it's got to be a subsidiary. Look at the artwork there. So you have to memorize your labels. So that, you know, a division of GRT Corp. CRT Corp. Chess Records, you know. So it's got to be. So if you see something on Cadet, I'll look it up. And it's done by the Dells, which I know the Dells are a great group, soul group. Pick it up. 147 VJ, that's a very early number, the Eldorados, and it's in pretty good shape. So, you know, I'm picking that up. DeBarges. I think they changed their name to DeBarge. So this could be unique when they were still called the DeBarges. It wasn't El DeBarge, I don't think so. It was just DeBarge. And who's Johnny? Is that one of their big hits? Oh, anyways, I'm moving slow. It's Monday. I just got back from New Orleans. So the 5 stair steps, right? On Curtnum, that's what caught my eye. I think that was Curtis Mayfield's label, but I'm not sure. Once again, here, Little Milton on Checker. Yeah, for $3. Yes. Aretha Franklin and Columbia. Okay. So a little beat up, but it was like a 99-cent record, so I'm picking that up. She's on Atlantic, so that must be an early one. And someone said, Fantastic Johnny, pick it up. So I think I got another one of these, but I picked it up for $2.99. Last but not least, Partied On by Willie Hutch. Okay, so that sounds like a fun record. 1975. All right, let's dig into the mystery lot and see what we got. Once again, Nola Records, Nola Mix Records. And there they are, right on Magazine Street in New Orleans. Check them out. Mystery Bag 45s. So it says 45 45s for $15. And I did a deal with the guy, so he actually threw these in. So that was pretty cool. So let's see what we got. If they're all junk, they're all junk. Maybe I'll get a gem out of them, you know? God only knows, you know? All right, there's some sleeved ones in there, so that's a good sign. Oh, right away, there's a freaking Smoky, you know? So I'm liking that. And it's in good condition. Birds, 8 Miles High, that's a good record, actually. I'm just sort of excited right now. Okay, we got some Carly Simon. Sly and the Family Stone. Oh, I'm excited. So let's go through them one by one. I'm going to put that harness back on. All right, once again, I got these at Nola Mix in New Orleans on Magazine Street. So a good little shop. I recommend you check it out. They have a soul section that's alphabetized. And someone said they like the tips. Well, another tip is put something soft down so you don't scratch your records. Okay, Smokey, Beam With You, Tamla. It's a later hit, but this is in good shape. Jerry Reed, When You're Hot, You're Hot. That's a very good, and that's a great hit. This is old school Bobby Darin. It looks like an EP, so that means we have 4 songs on that one. Here, let's go through these quick. Andy Williams, Nothing. Perfidia by the Four Aces. Perfidia is a great, sort of a Latin song. If you know the song, you know the song. Here we got another EP. You can't really see extended play. Who is the artist? Different artist. Stardust, great song written by Hoagie Carmichael. So this is just like a sort of a generic jazz released with several artists. Andy Williams. My mom loved him. There you go. Janet Dean, Drag City, Back to a School Rod. That's a good shape. I would call it very good. And I'm liking this. That's a great record. Pete Fountain. There you go. What do you play? The clarinet, right? Walking the Floor Over You. Ernest Tubb, great song. Robert Mitchum. More of an actor than a singer, wasn't he? All right. What do we got? Kenny Odell. That's a promo. That's a white label promo. Rosalie. That's a German record. All right, there you go. You never know what you're going to get. Donnie and Marie. Very good. Smokey Robertson. The humming song Back to It. There'll Come a Day. Well, later, 1977, Smokey. Okay. There we go. Wildflower. The New Birth. There you go. 3 Degrees. This is their big one. When Will I See You Again? Always played on Smokey Soul Town Radio. I love that song. I remember hearing it. It was on the airwaves forever. Peter, Paul, and Mary. Telling on the Mountain. I used to sing this with my parents driving down the road. It's an old Southern spiritual, actually. But they made a big pop hit out of it. Great song. Foxy Lady. I think this is the slow groove. Foxy Lady. The Crown Heights Affair. Interesting. So I think that's a good one. The one that was a hit. Move it in, move it out. No. Foxy Lady. Little beat up Marquettes. Slow Down on Playboy Records. Chuck Price, West Virginia Woman. 8 Miles High, great hit. It's probably a good plus, maybe a very good. It's one they couldn't get played on the radio because they thought it was a drug reference. And they're saying, no, that was just how high our plane was flying around. Okay. An old Columbia, The Banjo. The Young Rascals doing Good Lovin'. That's a big hit. It's probably a good, very good condition-wise. So I'm sort of liking that. London Records. Janice Massa had this one. Interesting. Alrighty. The Hokey Pokey. Gotta believe that was played at some parties. What else? Percy Sledge. Take Time to Know Her. These are 50 centers. Delwood, Tennessee. Nobody's Sweetheart Now. Shantytown. Sort of an obscure label. Sonny James, The Southern Gentleman. Blue for You. Backed with My Love. Steve Lawrence. Stephen Eady. Another one of my mom's favorites. That Chimes. Summer Night. And Once in a While. Okay, maybe we got something in here sleeved that's in good condition. Oh, that's really rough, isn't it? Hank Snow, the Singing Ranger. Crying, praying, waiting, hoping. Wow, Hank. All right, who do we got here? Frank Sinatra. Stargazer. This looks like it have a jukebox card. This is like brand new almost. Very good plus. So that's sort of cool when you get the jukebox card with it like that. There's Frank collectors out there. And it's always good to have a Frank or two in your collection. That's very good. Plus, I would say. That's sort of nice. That's a nice record. My Way by Frank. So I wonder if that's got a jukebox card. My Way is always going to be beat up. You know, My Way, Paul Anka wrote it. So, and I don't think it was a big hit until the 80s. You always hear it and think, oh, that's an old one. No, the Sandpipers. There you go. Diana Ross. Kiss Me Now. Love Hangover. Great song. Who do we got? Nobody Does It Better by Carly. Big hit for her. Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out. Another big hit. Nile Rodgers. Produced by Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers. By this time, everybody knew Nile Rodgers knew what to do. So to get him to do Diana on Motown, that was a big score. It probably cost him a lot of money. Connie Francis. There you go. Frank. Theme from New York, New York. You know, you can't beat that. It's like it's in like very good plus or almost near mint condition. So yeah, I'm loving the 15 or 45s. Is that it? Cal Smith. Another Cal Smith. Country Bumpkin. Paul Simon. It's a great hit. Loves Me Like a Rock. It's in very good shape. Paul Simon. Slip Sliding Away. Great song. Just when you think Paul was done, he was coming out with these hits in the late 70s and early 80s. A really mellow song, but it's somehow... I remember just hearing it on the radio, and it was like, yeah, that's a good song. Slight Family Affair. You remember T? We met him down there. He was a big Sly fan. And then Carly, you know, her later stuff sort of got, you know, washed away. I don't even know the name. I don't even know the song. I was never a big fan. 78 it came out. And she had her moment, no doubt about it. All right, cool. All right, next thing we do is enter this stuff into Discogs. And you don't want to get backlogged. So do it right away. So this will take me a while. I got 45 right here, and I probably got another 30 here. So probably 80 records. It's going to take me a couple hours. Another tip, this record cleaning stuff works great on cleaning your glasses. So I use readers. Anybody over 45 years old probably knows what I'm talking about. Just because your close-up vision starts to go in most people. So just don't get the ones that look like your grandpa from 1952. You know, whatever it takes to look stylish, it's worth it. We'll start wearing readers. People think you're old. We don't want to do that. Now, I always say it, you know, it's not like I made a deal with the devil, but if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to enter it. And I'm probably going to try to sell it too, because this isn't something I necessarily want in my collection. But so I feel if I bought it, then I at least enter it into the collection and give someone else a chance to own it. That's sort of my philosophy. So let's enter these and see what happens. All right, Detroit Bob, the gem of the week is Jerry Butler. Nobody Needs Your Love More Than I Do, backed with I Can't Stand to See You Cry. And the reason I bought this is because it was just so neat and so clean. I'm going to give this a very good plus. I definitely like it. You can see the rating here. It is a good record value-wise. Medium value is $12.99 and $25.99 on a high end. I went ahead and listed it for 29 bucks. You know what else is cool about this? It's a promo copy. So it's got the white label, VJ originally out of Gary. Later, we see them going to Chicago on Record Row. But Butler, who is Jerry Butler? Well, if you look him up, you know he is one of the first soul, funk, disco, long career, but notably a member of the Impressions and a long time of associate of Curtis Mayfield. So you got Jerry Butler, and you got him in his prime in the old days, and there you saw the doo-wop days, and then he gets sort of the cool funk era, the early 70s, and some of these different eras, and he ends up being a politician in Chicago, and long, storied career. So what a story that guy could tell. But back to the record, look at how clean it is. VJ Records, once again, is the label that the Beatles 498, My Holy Grail, is on. And this is VJ 696, and there's the B-side right there. So a great record. 11 want it, 14 have it. That's a pretty high want to have ratio. So like I said, we'll see what happens. I went ahead and listed it for sale, and I put it at 29 bucks. I'm in no hurry to sell this record. I would love it. And you see this, it looks like that's in the label itself. That's not a scratch, but it's like a flaw in the actual label. So these VJ promo labels are very cool. I really, really like them. The normal label on something like this would be a lot different. So if you look at the release page on something like this, you would see all the versions, and you could click on there and you'd see what would look something like this. So that's the typical VJ level right there, label right there. But once again, I got the promo copy, and it's quite a bit different. You can see this other version here. I actually have a copy of this, but it's not quite as valuable because it's not the promo. So look at right there, all the way to New Orleans. And where we got this was, as you see, Nola Mix Records. So we didn't go in the French Quarter or Frenchman Street. We went out in the surrounding areas on Marquette Street. And these guys are great. They invited us back for their 9th anniversary. I'm going to go back there last year. I think I got through H. They had a dedicated soul section. And we went back and met some interesting people in the business, heard a little singing, and got some freebies. And so I would recommend Nola Mix Records. Their prices were fair. I mean, they weren't giving stuff away, but I love the fact that they had that, 45s, and they actually just sort of threw that in. So I spent a little money, and I ended up getting like 10% off value-wise. But even some great records out of those mystery bag selections, if you will. All right, we'll see you next time. We got Florida coming up. We got a little town called LaPorte coming up, LaPorte, Indiana. I'm going to try to get Crown Point back in there. And I got some other ideas for Michigan. I'm still trying to get back to Eugene's. But you'll see a lot of good stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Fridays at noon. RockMine is the name of the show. Hit that subscribe button if you're liking this stuff. And we'll see you next time.